Hi friends, good evening. Welcome to Shankaranaya Study Circle. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy, Director of the Institute. Relating to APPSC Group 1 Mains Exam, in GS Paper 3, Section B, Chapter 9, there is one topic, Role of Civil Services in a Democracy. And this topic also finds a mention in the UPSC main syllabus in GS paper 2. So this topic is useful both for UPSC mains as well as APPSC mains. In the UPSC mains exam, questions have already come on lateral entry into civil services. A question on lateral entry into civil services has come in the public administration optional, political science optional, even GS mains of UPSC. So probably this is expected even in APPSC Group 1 mains exam. So this is a very important topic. I would request those who are preparing for APPSC Group 1 mains exam to take attention. Then what is this idea of lateral entry into civil services? So in simple terms, lateral entry means recruiting the specialists from the private sector into government services. That is the meaning of lateral entry. So this was recommended way back by the Second Administrative Reforms Commission in its 10th report on civil services. See, if you take the idea of lateral entry, if you see the response of the career bureaucrats, that is the senior IAS officers, those who are serving and retired, while a large number of the civil servants, they see this idea of lateral entry with a suspicion, but they agree that Indian administrative service needs greater specialization. So all the IAS officers, a majority of them, they agree that Indian administrative service needs greater specialization, but they don't agree, most of them don't agree with the idea of lateral entry. They have their own suspicion regarding this idea. But those who support the idea of lateral entry, they say that it will bring in new energy in government functioning, and it will also help in filling up the shortfall in bureaucracy, especially in large states. So in 1990 to 95, on an average only 50 IAS officers were recruited then. Now at the level of Joint Secretary to Government of India, and even in several states like Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, at the senior level positions, there are a number of vacancies. So to fill in those vacancies, lateral entry is one of the options which is considered. And recently the NDA government has recruited 9 private sector specialists. So from the private sector, 9 specialists were recruited as joint secretaries in various departments. So that's why I told lateral entry means the appointment of specialists from the private sector in government organizations. And the Ministry of Personnel last year in the month of June, it has invited applications for the joint secretary level post through lateral entry mode. And what are the departments where such recruitments are being taken up? Revenue, financial services, economic affairs, agriculture and farmers welfare, road transport and highways, shipping, environment, forest and climate change, new and renewable energy, civil aviation, commerce departments. So these are the departments in which the government sought to bring in specialists from the private sector into Government of India at the level of Joint Secretary. And the Union Public Service Commission recommended 9 professionals into the Government of India from the private sector. And there is a stiff resistance from the IAS lobby against the idea of lateral entry. We will see what is good and bad in this proposal. But remember, the idea of lateral entry finds a mention in the 10th report of Second Administrative Reforms Commission. So way back in 2005, Second Administrative Reforms Commission has recommended lateral entry both at the level of central government and the state government. But the recruitment through lateral entry must be transparent, and it shall be through institutionalized process, which means like involving the institutions like Union Public Service Commission, which are more objective and transparent. And one more reason why the governments are thinking about lateral entry is in the bigger states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. At the senior level, there is a shortage of officers, and so to fill in this shortage, possibilities of recruitment from outside the government is being explored. And remember, this is not the first time that the specialists from outside the government are recruited to Government of India. We had a number of instances even in the past since independence till today where the services of the specialists from the private sector are taken by Government of India. A number of former IAS officers who are retired, they are not against the idea of lateral entry, but they had their own reservations regarding lateral entry. They said that if the lateral entry recruitment is done by Government of India through committees like the Cabinet Secretary led committee, then that is dangerous and it cannot remain objective. But if the institutions like Union Public Service Commission takes up the lateral entry recruitment, then the process can be made fair, transparent and objective. That's their observation. Then in the past, there are a number of examples of the outside experts from the private sector having entered into the service of Government of India. For example, let us see these people. V. Krishnamurthy, who had a unique distinction of being called the father of public sector enterprises in India. He has led a number of public sector enterprises, making them profitable. Mantosh Shondi, D.V. Kapoor, M.A. Wadud Khan, R.V. Shahi, M.S. Swaminathan, Manmohan Singh, I.G. Patel, Mantek Singh Ahluwalia, Rakesh Mohan, Vijay Kelkar, they all are from the private sector and they have the distinction of having served as secretaries to Government of India. In addition, even we have Shankaracharya and Arvind Virmani are other examples. But as I told you, the worry is the source of recruitment. If the recruitment is done by Government of India bypassing the Union Public Service Commission, there is one danger. What is that danger? The corporate houses may use this opportunity to push their own men into government. Unless we put the right kind of officers, we may be in danger of business houses dictating the policies of Government of India. That's the danger. While excellence in services is highly desirable, we will have to protect against the business houses taking over government policy making. So there shall be a fine balancing act in the sense the IAS officers are career bureaucrats, they don't have the domain knowledge and expertise, but in the changing era of globalization, privatization and liberalization, we need more and more specialists at the senior levels for better policy making. So just because we need a specialist, we cannot allow the corporate sector to send their men into government. If the recruitment is not fair, transparent, it is very much possible for the corporate houses to push through their men to Government of India and also taking over the decision making in Government of India. So we have to protect against this danger. And as I told you, why the idea of lateral entry became popular is in addition to several other reasons. One reason is acute shortage of officers at the higher level. So as I told you before, recruitment of IAS officers between 1990 and 1995 dropped to around 55. On an average in a year, only 55 people were got selected to IAS. And now these people, they have reached the level of joint secretary in Government of India. Now there are a number of vacancies at this level. We are not able to fill in with the career bureaucrats. So private sector individuals who are brought on contract for 3 to 5 years may serve someone else's interest as they would not have no long-term stake in the government. This is one more danger. See, the IAS guys, once they get into service, they will be in government for almost next 25 to 30 years. So they will have a long-term stake. But the private sector specialists who come to Government of India for providing services, they may not stay for more than 3 or 5 years, so they may not have long-term stake in the government. There is a danger that they may serve the interests of the corporate houses. And in addition, there is a danger that this lateral entry may become in course of time the spoil system which is prevalent in America. In United States of America, the senior positions in government will be recruited by the government of the day on its own will without any merit-based recruitment. And there was one more argument that in a large, extremely diverse and rapidly diversifying economy like India, which still faces serious developmental challenges, it cannot be run on the strength of generalist bureaucrats. Sustained GDP growth for poverty reduction requires a very competent and also agile bureaucracy, active bureaucracy, which can respond to rapid changes, and this is inevitable in a globally integrated economy. Remember, most of the civil servants, they are status quoists. They are not open to the rapidly changing environment, and they don't get adapted to the rapidly changing environment, and they become barriers for our economic development. And the frequent transfers in government of India and at the level of state governments will not allow the career IAS people to develop domain knowledge. And now we have ended up in a situation where the secretaries at the level of government of India in senior positions, they enjoy vast powers to frame policies, but in most of the cases they don't have domain expertise. So in a government that lacks a specialized knowledge and experience, the delivery of services cannot cope with the rising aspirations of citizens for better governance and greater accountability and transparency. So that's why India's current system of having generalists at all levels of government is flawed. It is a wrong policy and partly responsible for poor governance in India. So that's it about lateral entry into civil services. Very, very important for the exam. Please make a note and take advantage of this video. Thank you very much.